And we're getting pretty close to our home stretch. Moving on to the next big conference, Sony.
Yep. This is the one I cared the least about, mostly because typically these games don't come out on PC. Granted, there is a notable exception this time. But I did at least take notes.
Yeah, I also care very little about the Sony conferences because, again, like you said, very few of their games come out on PC. So, yeah.
But we're still going to dive in.
Yep, they opened up with, I think that was Indian?
I'm pretty sure it was Indian as well. Granted, they also had the roof leaking. Okay, that was very cool with the waterfall, with the different effects from it.
It was really neat. I wondered what they were going to lead into. And
yeah, it didn't really it didn't lead particularly well into it, though. Granted, I can't really say for certain because, okay, it was nice that they started off with music, but they didn't set up their audio correctly, so there was no direct feed from the gameplay footage. And it sounded like just a microphone sitting in the auditorium. At least, I went through 2 Twitch streams, and both of them were like that. Eventually, I was able to hunt down the YouTube stream, and that finally had decent audio to it. But by that point, the Uncharted footage was just gone, and pretty much the Horizon Zero Dawn expansion as well. But honestly, I don't really have a lot to add to either of these, so...
me neither.
I didn't bother to go back and listen to them.
Yep, me
but
neither.
It's more just, sound check, people, sound check.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been that something went wrong. I mean, I'm not going to fault him too much for that. I mean,
yeah, but they should have had interns running
breaks.
around like, his hair was on fire or something.
Maybe they did behind or backstage.
It's just... it was shocking that it was that level of ineptitude. So really not a lot to say either way about Uncharted, The Lost Legacy, or whatever the Horizon Zero Dawn expansion was.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a lot to say about them either way.
Me neither, because they're PlayStation exclusives. And I have played the older Uncharted games on PS3, but actually I've played the first Uncharted. So I don't really have much to contribute to that either.
Okay, so shall we skip ahead to Days Gone?
Yep.
Also known as Come On!
Yeah, this was, if in the regular stream, this was where the audio came back.
Yeah, well, I caught towards the end of the Horizon Zero Dawn with the audio, but by that point, I was already on the YouTube stream.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does this feel very generic?
It does feel super generic. It felt super generic last year when they announced it, teased it, whatever.
It was a lot more interesting until they introduced the zombies. So it's like, oh, it's another zombie game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. My notes were gameplay in my trailer. Can't have that. Well, at least it looks like gameplay. Where once they got on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And then, come on, it's back.
I mean, it might be okay. I'm not like trying to completely knock this game.
Yeah.
It's a PlayStation exclusive. It looks like just another generic zombie game. I mean, they might have some interesting or unique mechanics, but I'll probably never play it.
Yeah, let's see some of my other notes. Woo, QuickTime events. Just what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Detective vision. I mean, biker vision.
Zombie bear, I guess. Or question mark. That was one of my notes.
The touching love story between a biker and his mechanic. I got a good chuckle out of that.
That was good, because who else knows how to fix a carburetor out here?
And my last note was more for the crowd. You were on the Twitch stream, right?
Yeah.
Did you see the people bowing to this trailer?
No, I didn't see that.
The YouTube stream cut to people bowing in the crowd, like they were in Wayne's World. We're not worthy.
I completely missed that. I probably was tabbed out taking a couple of notes.
Well, see, I had the one half of the screen with the stream and the other half with my open office window.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and This is a press event, right?
I think so.
These are press people.
I
Or these the bloggers. It's just show some fucking professionalism. You know?
Yeah, I completely missed that. But yeah.
But then again, you could really say that about any of their conferences. People cheering for exclusives, cheering exclusive DLC. It's just, who does that? I mean, is this a plant in the crowd to show enthusiasm?
Maybe. I mean, people have been caught using plants before, so.
It's just incredibly frustrating to see that and think, who does that? What's wrong with you? Were you dropped on your head as a child? Wait, how did you get press credentials? This is supposed to be a press event. How did you get in here? Oh, you work for Polygon. That now it makes sense. Sorry. But yeah,
all right.
Yeah, just Days Gone just looks so generic, but it's not for me. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. All right, so next up on the docket, Monster Hunter World. That is one huge sword.
I'm a big fan of the Monster Hunter series. And when this first popped up, I was like, oh, this looks amazing, but it probably won't ever come to PC, so fuck it. But it is coming to PC. So
yeah,
hey!
granted, it's coming to PC at a later date, and there's no release date for that.
I don't care.
But this is the first Monster Hunter game to come to PC, at least in the Western market. There are Monster Hunter MMOs, but they're limited to Japan only. And they're very aggressive about kicking people that aren't Japanese. So this will be actually the first time I'll have a chance to play Monster Hunter.
I really like Monster Hunter. It's always been a campy, silly, over-the-top series that has some amazing gameplay and some great ideas in it. And the co-op has always been excellent. I mean, it's always been like either LAN play for the earlier games or like direct connection sort of multiplayer for the more recent versions of the game, at least in the West. But it's always been great. I used to play, I don't even know which Monster Hunter it was. It was on PSP on the school bus because I couldn't drive yet at the time. So me and my friends would play because I lived at the end of the line. So I was always the first kid picked up and the last kid dropped off. And me and my friend would play, like my next door neighbor friend would play it on the bus every morning and every afternoon on the way to and from school.
So I take it this will likely be a co-op game between the two of us.
Yeah, I think so. Very much looking forward to it.
All right, well, next up, Shadow of the Colossus. Something we're not looking forward to because we crapped all over Shadow of the Colossus recently.
Nope. As long as
it looks very familiar, but it's also a remake. So, if they added the cut content, I think it would be a lot more interesting.
That would give it something new.
Because that's something is that Shadow of the Colossus is notorious for having a lot of content cut from it.
Yeah.
Not just when they were originally doing the 48 monsters, which that would have been a lot of stuff, and I don't see how they could have ever done that on the PlayStation 2. But even the 24, and eventually cutting it down to 16.
Yeah, it was 24, and then I think they cut it to 20 or maybe 18.
Yeah, and it's left a huge portion of the map just completely unused.
Yeah, and then eventually they cut it to the 16 that were in the game. Actually in the game. But yeah, if they add the cut to content and actually fix the controls so that they're modernized and responsive.
And had it where the camera could actually show me what I'm doing.
Yeah, that would be great. And it would probably make the game a lot better, in our opinion.
Okay, Marvel vs. Capcom. So many characters from different universes, I couldn't keep track of them all, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I was able to mostly. Normally I don't care.
Well, at the beginning of it, I didn't really catch that there was Marvel vs. Capcom. It's like, wait, what? Who? Why are you here? What is going on?
Yeah, at first I thought it was just like maybe like a new what was it? Marvel Heroes or whatever, the MMO style.
Yeah, that's
game.
what I thought it was at first as well.
But then I started seeing the characters from Street Fighter. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I didn't catch that it was Marvel vs. Capcom, but I'm not a fighting game type of person, so Yeah, I didn't even register that would be a thing until they showed the title.
Yeah, I'm I'm actually looking forward to this game a bit. I mean, I wouldn't buy it new, but normally I don't care for fighting games. But one, I'm a huge Marvel person, and they've added a lot of the Marvel characters from the MCU as opposed to the comic books. So these are characters that I'm already a lot more familiar with and like. I mean, I also have read many Marvel comic books, but honestly, the MCU characters, in my opinion, are way better. So I'm actually looking forward to it and might pick it up on sale one day for like $20.
Man, let's see. We finally got info on Call of Duty. They waited this long for Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah, which I think shows you just how far Call of Duty has fallen in the last few years. Like,
and I'll be perfectly honest, this trailer felt like literally every single other war game shooter trailer. As a matter of fact, I didn't even think it was Call of Duty until they said it was Call of Duty.
Yeah, I figured it out, I think, relatively quickly, but at first I was like, what is this, just like a war game? Oh, World War II, it's probably Call of Duty. The new Call of Duty game.
I think it's just that I don't care about Call of Duty.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I'm more interested in this Call of Duty than I have been the last few, because I think that they've just
dozen or two?
Pretty much since Modern Warfare 3. They just have gone too far off the rails, in my opinion. But
which is, what, 8-9 back now?
Yeah. I said this like 4 hours ago at this point. But I really hope that they just don't rehash the first 3 Call of Duty games, which were their 3 World War II entries. Actually, there's been more than... Because there was... Whatever. There's been more, but I just hope that it's not a rehash of the old World War II Call of Duty games. I want more different things.
Then let's see. We have a long stretch of different VR titles. Starting off with Skyrim, because that's what we need. Another version of Skyrim.
Yep. And it looks terrible. God, it looks so bad. It looks
so awkward, didn't it? It must just be that they're trying to show what VR would be on a flat screen, but it looked like they were holding the bow up sideways and just shooting off to the side.
Yeah, it just looked awful.
Yeah, it looked unspeakably awkward to play. I'm assuming mostly because it's using motion controls. And I'm going to assume that this is going to cost $60 as well, just based on Fallout 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't had enough Skyrim, well, there you go. That's what, the 3rd, 4th time we mentioned Skyrim individually?
Yeah.
And guess what? We still have one more to go.
Yep.
Let's see, Star Child, Sony VR 2D platformer? How is that going to work?
Yeah, I don't know. It looked, I don't know, like a platformer. At first I thought it was going to be some kind of like...
I thought it was going to be a standard 2D platformer, and then then I saw Sony VR, huh?
Yeah, well, for the initial part of the trailer, I thought it was going to be like a spaceflight game of some kind. I was like, okay, that's cool. And then it's a platformer. I was like, okay.
And
whatever
probably
works, I guess.
And let's see, The Impatient. No info on this whatsoever in the trailer. VR question mark, I'm assuming. It's VR, though, just because of everything else surrounding it.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to add?
Not really. I mean, it looks like you're in some kind of, like, based on, like, the last flash of the trailer. Like, it seems like you're a mental patient in an asylum, but who knows? No clue. Couldn't tell you.
Maybe you have to get some Steam trading cards to get out. If they're anything like your patients, right? Okay,
yeah.
Next one up. Out of all the VR games, this is probably the silliest, but the one I would actually want to play the most.
I knew you would like this one.
Monster of the Deep, Final Fantasy V Fishing, or 15 Fishing. I mean, it's just so... Well, I have a weakness for fishing games to begin with. And it's a Final Fantasy fishing game. And it looks like they're not taking it too seriously as well.
No, it looked pretty silly and fun.
Is it wrong that I'm this predictable that you knew that this was going to be the one?
No, it just means that I know you well.
I think I need an adult.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Bravo Team VR War Shooter. No other info given.
Yep, it looks like just a generic modern military shooter with VR.
And Moss, VR title. It looks like you're helping a mouse traverse an area. I would say almost like Monument Valley-esque, where you're helping with the environment instead of controlling the character directly. That's
Yeah.
at least my opinion. And with when they showed the reflection, I immediately got the impression of No Face from the Ghibli films. From shoot, now I'm blanking on the name of the movie. Oh, Spirited Away.
I've never seen Spirited Away.
Blasphemy!
Put it on the list. I'll get to it eventually. It did look
Just
cute.
look up No Face Ghibli, and you'll see the character that I mean.
Okay.
NOH, by the way, as in the type of theater. And yes, Mystery Science Theater did have a Who's on First with No as well at one point.
Okay.
But you see the character?
Yeah.
Doesn't that look sort of like what the trailer had?
Kind of, yeah. Huh.
Okay, so next up was Dad of War. I'm sorry, God of War. Kratos has a real lack of parenting skills, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, it looks okay. I probably...
Combat
again,
looks a lot slower than what God of War was, doesn't it? It looks almost Dark Souls-esque.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a terrible thing.
And it looks like the kid is your sidekick, and his thing is he shoots arrows.
There is no way that kid is surviving this game. Either him or Kratos. One of the two are dying in this game.
Yep, one of them has to die. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, it looks okay. I'll probably never play it because it'll be a PlayStation exclusive. So, I don't really have anything else to add to it.
Okay, next up, Detroit Become Human. A choose-your-own-adventure style game with Android Revolution.
Yeah,
It looks a lot like Heavy Rain, to be perfectly honest.
It does.
And I'm not sure if it's the same developer. I didn't check on that. I should have.
It's, shoot, what's his name?
It's very interesting, and it really depends a lot on just... They talked about branching paths of the story, just how far they go down that, lane of reasoning, you know. How diverse can the story get?
Yeah, I actually preferred the E3 trailer from last year, where they really focused on one interaction and just showed it over and over and over again.
Yeah,
with
this
you
was a
making
lot
different
more.
decisions.
Yeah, this was a lot more action based. I almost forgot about it from last year.
Yeah, I mean, it still looks good. I'm very, very interested in it.
Yeah,
But,
they didn't really show. They didn't give a release date, did they?
No, they did not. David Cage, that's the guy I was thinking of. It's a David Cage game.
And I did leave one other note. So, how long do you think before Tumblr loses their shit on this?
It's happened already, I'm sure.
Hell, they lost their shit over the Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, they'll get over it.
Cultural appropriation.
Also, David Cage did do Heavy Rain as well. That's probably why they look similar.
All right. I didn't check on that, but the fact that I was able to pick up on that gives me some credit, even though I've never played either game. Well,
Yeah.
obviously I can't play this one, but I didn't play Heavy Rain, but I was able to pick up on that.
Yeah, David Cage, I mean, he's done several games. Like, he's known for doing this type of game and having this type of style. But ones that you'd recognize, Fahrenheit or Indigo Prophecy, as it's known in the States, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls.
All right. Next up was Destiny 2, which was pretty much a cutscene showing the main villain, which I'm sure this trailer makes a lot more sense if you read the story, which in order to do that, you had to go to their website.
Yep, they've said they're not making that mistake again. They're putting it all in the game, which good for them, I guess, for doing what games have done for, the last 30 years or so.
And also, oh, look, exclusive content. Joy.
Yeah. Honestly, though,
And the fact that people were cheering that, ugh.
The story trailer, though, really didn't make very much sense to me as a longtime Destiny player because there was so little story in Destiny 1. Even if you went online and read the cards, the Grimoire cards, as they were called, with all of, like, the extra, or with all the story whatevers, Like, I don't know who this person is. I don't know why he's come. And it could be that, like, since I've dropped out, there's been some more DLC that's teased this guy or whatever. But, yeah, I didn't know who he was or what was going on. For the most part. And then, yeah, exclusive content. I sighed and I remembered, oh, right, Destiny has all this exclusive content for the various consoles.
Yeah, but of course PC won't have any, right?
Probably not.
So
But
we
that's
don't
okay.
get to cheer. And then they wrapped up with Spider-Man. With the world's most ineffective henchman.
Yeah. I mean, this looked okay.
It looked fairly good. The fact that they actually have the web slinging down works well.
Yeah.
And the combat was very fluid. It didn't look janky at all, which has been a huge problem with the Spider-Man franchise. Also, maybe it's just the fact that I'm not a Marvel guy, but since when did Spider-Man have a team and backup?
Yeah, that's new. As part of the, I'm pretty sure this is based more in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because in the upcoming Spider-Man movie, like, he's working with Iron Man and has connections to things. He's not just like a sole, teenage dude. And
Also, I guess that whole photographer gig just doesn't work out anymore when everybody has a camera.
Yeah. Also, in some of the Spider-Man comic runs, he works, like, the ones where he's not a teenager, where he's a lot older, he does work with the police and various agencies for things. And then obviously he works with the Avengers.
And also, they maybe it's just the segment of the gameplay that they showed, but there was so many quick time events in this.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Spider-Man franchise also has had more than its share of quick time events, but there was a lot in this just short segment.
Yeah, there were.
But maybe if he superheroed faster, he wouldn't have to do so many quick time events.
I also like that they showed Miles Morales at the end.
Yeah,
Which-
he's the other Spider-Man, the black one.
Yeah,
Boy, that
he's-
sounds wrong out of context, doesn't it?
It does. It does. But he's the Spider-Man that most people prefer nowadays, just because he's a more modernized version of Spider-Man. But
And also, I did make the note, maybe J. Jonah Jameson has a point. I mean, just think of how many people got injured and killed in all the collateral damage in this just segment.
yeah,
Maybe he does have a point. Maybe Spider-Man is kind of a menace. I mean, sure, it doesn't make him less of a jerk-ass, but the jerk-ass is correct.
yeah. That's. I'm not gonna go down this track. I'm not gonna start talking about Marvel stuff.
No, do it.
No.
We're still below the 4-hour mark. Do it.
It's
Do it.
1:30 in the morning. I have to get up at 6:30. We're getting close to the end. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Let's
Yeah,
press
but we
on.
still have to go through Nintendo to get there.
We do, but Nintendo was short. So
But we still have to give our thoughts for the Sony conference.
I was going to say,
very much didn't give a shit, to be perfectly honest, and the audio issues kind of tarnished it to begin with.
yeah, I mean, it was fine. The technical difficulties sucked and made me annoyed at the beginning, but they got it worked out partway through, and then the rest of it was just like, yep, this is a conference for a console that I don't have, with games that aren't going to come to things that I have.
And don't forget exclusive content that you'll never be able to play, because why would you play a first-person shooter on a console when you play it on PC?
All of that stuff was timed exclusive, which doesn't make it very much better.
Well, they didn't say that, but that's kind of the point, isn't it? If you have both, maybe push you to play on the console instead of the PC.
Well, the new stuff might not be timed exclusive, but that's how all of the exclusive content worked before. It was all timed exclusive to Sony. So, I mean, they could have done it differently. I'm just kind of working off the framework that that's how it's going to be again, but maybe not. I don't know. Regardless, it's stupid and I don't like it, but
Yeah,
I do like Destiny.
Yeah, I would say probably the highlight of this conference for me, probably because I could finally play it, is Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, Monster Hunter World definitely stole the show for me. I'm excited about Destiny, but Monster Hunter on PC, yeah, sign me up.
Don't worry, I'll be getting your attention for a series sooner or later.
Fair enough. Okay, give me a timestamp.